hip hop and comics, sixth element of hip hop. We in the building. Another Monday. Once again, Reno is in the building. We will have Stu. Grap will come through. We'll chop it up. All things comics, all things hip hop.
Not to get off Winter Soldier, because we're not really getting off Winter Soldier, and we talking about comics here and hip hop and everything. And I wanted to dive deeper into Truth, the Isaiah Bradley story.
Nice.
I got, deeper into it, really read it. That joint is deep, bro. The artwork is really whack.
It's kind of wonky. It's kind of wonky. But from what I read, they did that on purpose.
They kind of did it because the subject matter is so deep and so dark and real that they wanted to make the comic, I don't know,
like lighter.
The drawings, to lighten it up a little bit.
To offset it, because the whole thing is about these military dudes. They realize that black people have this, what they call in the comic, the black vine, right? The grapevine, where the black community circulates information, but they keep it within, and they don't very efficiently, and they tell them, okay, we're going to use that, we're going to learn about that and use them for spies, right? You got all these soldiers out here, because back in World War II, segregation was still, so they had the black troops were all standing out there, and the dude's like, we need 300 of them, so put 300 men on these trucks and go. And they do that, and the last guys that are left, they just murder them. They just shoot them all. The Grap's here good, because this is where I want to get into this.
Right on time, yeah.
It's perfect, man, because they believe like this is when eugenics was like, man, it goes so deep, bro. Like,
so you said eugenics, I said, oh wow, they really went there.
You know what they do too? They actually connected to the Tuskegee Experiment into it. Into the whole thing. And tell you like it's like a branch off of the Tuskegee Experiment. And they moved that part to, I think it was like Baton Rouge or something like that. They moved it to like the Mid-South, and it's still part of that same program. He's right. It's deep.
Dope.
Deep. What's good, man?
What's good, brother?
What's good? We was just talking about the.
We was just on the topic, on Truth. We just started talking about it.
Grap last week.
Grap
last week we was talking about how he gave Reno some good information about a comic. And he didn't get it, and then it went up in price on him. And he was pulling his hair out last week, and he said, Grap told me about that. He said, I had it in my cart, I just didn't get it, and I kept looking at it.
Word.
Like,
let me grab it real quick. Hold on, y'all.
Okay. When you said that to Reno, I was like, I remember that episode when Grap was showing it, and when he was showing all this stuff.
That was our first comics episode, man. Grap was on there, and we saw his little collection.
Wow.
Grap got a lot of African American superheroes. He got that on lock. He got that on
real.
Lock.
But like you're saying, Tuskegee, they was doing gruesome experiments on these guys, like to the point that they injected one guy with like 5 cc's of the Super Soldier Serum. It was too much, and he literally explodes in the
bloated.
Wow.
Blood everywhere. But so that goes back to them using that sort of comic-y, cartoony style of art.
Right.
Because this comic would be very dark if it was drawn the way it
like
should
the
be.
There it is, right there.
There. That's the
man. Let me highlight you.
Show them the art, Grap, in the inside.
The art is very it's not like this.
Right.
Yeah, we saying it was kind of light. They made it light because it's so deep.
See how cartoony it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Bradley, his wife, comes looking for him. She comes to the military offices, and she wants to see her husband's body because they told him.
And heading into the military and everything, they got this in there too. This is hard, yo. That's so freaking crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Like
that's well detailed.
She goes into, because they told her that, her husband died in an explosion and all that. And so she comes in to see the body, and they won't show her the body, and she starts getting suspicious. And, because at first she just wants to see her husband's body. She's not suspicious at all. But then they keep denying her. So she starts to investigate. They eventually show her the body, and we don't see what she sees, but later she's like, so you showed me a charred up skinny little white man and told me that's my husband, and I'm supposed to just go with that?
Yeah.
But they were sending letters to the families, telling them that they were killed in battle, missing in action. They were just, they was covering it up.
That's him getting it right there, getting the injection.
Yeah.
And then boom, he start changing. I think he might be the dude that exploded. Yeah, he's the dude that exploded.
Right. Boom.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
wow.
Blood, guts all over the wall.
Yeah, I just pulled it up.
The cover of the book is like this. It's black. It's like the real cover.
Oh.
They have individual comics too. So 293 of the first 300 guys they tested on dies. You know, like some explode, like they go through all these gruesome, torturous, barbaric reactions. And then we get to a point where Sergeant Evans is one of the 7 guys that doesn't die from this. It's like Isaiah Bradley, Sergeant Evans, like 2 other guys, Maurice. And so Sergeant Evans, he's like starts breaking down a true story about this that he said he was in July 19th, 1919, post World War I. He said word got around that the police had just released a black man after questioning about the rape of a white woman in real life that happened, and then they called that summer the Red Summer. It was just a summer-wide massacre of black Americans across the country, and this really went down. And like guys like soldiers, they were like taking arms, taking up sniper positions, like the black men that were in the communities during this time. And he was one of those.
Shapes of their heads and stuff.
Word.
Yeah.
I was like,
all the experimentation.
Those are the ones that survive. It's 5 of them right there.
Right. Yeah, because out of the 7, after Sergeant Evans tells them this story about the Red Summer in 1919 and basically almost a race war that happened that he was a part of, one guy like falls out, like has a heart attack due to the serum. He dies. 6 of them die eventually, and it's just Isaiah Bradley at the end. Like they go off on the mission, and so Isaiah Bradley, after they go on the first mission and like the guys left over die, he's by himself and he's got to take on the rest of the mission dolo, suicide mission style, like just has to do it by himself. And he goes back and he steals this unused spare Captain America costume that nobody's using or thinking about. And he gets like an old shield, dresses up his cap, and heads into Germany for the mission as the first black Captain America. There he is, dropping in on the Nazis, and he's got to track down this guy named Koch, who's a scientist, Nazi scientist, who's been experimenting on people, and he finds this concentration camp where he's been doing the experiments to create their own Super Soldier Serum, the Germans. He finds this concentration camp, he goes in, and then he sees bodies everywhere, just hundreds of bodies stacked up, being experimented on, children, babies, like grotesque experiments that he like witnesses, and he breaks them down.
Killed mad Nazis too.
Word.
Yeah, a lot of
mad Nazis.
That's well though.
You see the part where he
baby
walks in.
heads and the heads,
heads
and all that.
Yeah, it bugs him out.
Because everybody was trying to do their own Super Soldier program.
And that was the Nazis doing theirs, and so he had to track them down. Yeah, there he is with the dynamite crying because he sees all the atrocities, the babies and the tanks and all of that, and he's got to blow it up. Yeah, so he blows it up, and we switch back to America. We see Captain America, who's talking now to cut some years later to his wife who was looking for the body, and they showed him that burnt up white guy. And so now she's in a burqa, like full burqa, like she's gone Muslim, and she's talking to Cap about Isaiah. And then he goes and finds this dude who he's like this old war criminal. There she is right there in the burqa, and he finds out, and you see him on the right there like running it, like going off to avenge. He's pissed. He finds out about it. Finds out about what they did, and that there was this black Captain America, and you see that crusty old man down there in the bottom right corner. So he finds that dude. He's this old war criminal, and we find out he's actually this guy from earlier in the story named Merritt, who is like the head of the whole experiment and all of that. And he tells Captain America that he actually joined the Super Soldier program because of the Captain America comic he read, and he wanted to be like him. But he gets there and he realized, and he's like, well, these blacks, so we find out how racist and disgusting he is. And he's like, these black soldiers, they're good for experimenting, but they wanted to send them on actual missions. Like, we can't have that. And they're like, America is cool with, a white Captain America, but then they say, not Captain Americoon.
Wow.
You're right, yeah.
That's him talking to Hitler while he's tied up.
Word, yeah, Hitler's talking to him, and he's telling him how America hates blacks, and America, slavery and no rights, and but he says, but we have no problem with the Negro. We love you, and we will take care of you. Yeah, so he's breaking it down like that to him, trying to pour honey in his ear and wants him to join them.
And you know they did that in World War II. The radio broadcast would tell the black soldiers,
they did that in Vietnam.
America don't love you.
Also.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did it in Vietnam.
Big time.
Why are you here, Djay? Why
Yeah.
That's
where they got that from. What Hitler was doing.
We need to make a movie. Y'all got some good German accents going there.
Oh, you got.
He said, so Hitler. So then we see after he's trying to entice him to join the Nazi cause and all of that. Then we cut to him in the cut talking to one of his henchmen, Hitler, and he wants to give Bradley to Mengele. And if y'all know who Joseph Mengele was, he was the Nazi doctor scientist that did all the really bad experiments on people with disabilities and people of color and
Is that him?
okay, so that's Hitler there talking to his boy, and he's talking about sending him to Mengele. And then over on the right you see Cap back in America talking to the old guy Merritt. And so then the guy that's there with him, he tells Cap that Bradley's prisoner transport was destroyed and he was freed by German freedom fighters, and that he's back in America. So Cap wants to find, Cap confronts the guy and that did experiments on him. And one thing is we learn this in the comic, but it's a true fact, and you can research it. But they break down how the Nazis' whole ethnic cleansing model. Listen to this. All right, their whole ethnic cleansing model is based on a U.S. practiced eugenics philosophy. So the whole Nazi thing is based on what the United States did to immigrants and all of that.
Right.
From the Babylonians.
Yeah, because and to keep it real, it's truth in that, because back then, when people would come over, that's what Ellis Island was for. Was to weed out the people with the bad genetics that came from Europe versus the people that had good genes.
They had desirables and undesirables.
And undesirables.
Right? Undesirables. Asians, Eastern Europeans, you know what I mean? So
certain races and certain people.
And they would literally take them. And they would send them back. They would sterilize them.
Yes. So they couldn't have.
They would sterilize them, so they couldn't breed with pure Americans. And so that whole concentration camps, all of that Nazis is all based on U.S. practices. Mm-hmm. That's where they get all that from. Mm-hmm. Europe too, Britain too. Like Britain, England was doing the same thing. And there was large Nazi sympathy groups in America during the war. Like the whole time, like it was mad Americans that had like leave Hitler alone type campaign.
Yeah, we still got them now.
Right. Now
there was that show that came out. It only was one season with the Jewish. They were killing. They were like they were vigilantes, and they were murdering German people that escaped. And then they found out, and they found out at the end he took the identity.
That's dope.
Yep.
And then Hitler's somewhere in like Argentina somewhere or something. That's how it ended. Yeah.
So that picture, that what Grap was holding up.
What was that?
Nah, you see Grap with
Eric LaSalle. I think the dude who actually wrote it.
Right. And those pictures all over the wall.
Morales. I think that's him. And Eric LaSalle. And then you got your man in the cut over there.
Yep. And all those pictures. That's like Mandela. That's Muhammad Ali. Like every black hero.
Iconic hero.
Or right.
Angela Davis. Public Enemy.
Word.
That's dope.
Comics and hip hop.
Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones, Alex Haley.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor.
Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
I think this is Spike Lee down here.
And so Cap's learning right now that they're saying how in the black community he is a renowned, myth that a hero that have kept secret to the rest of the world. You know what I mean? Like within the community, he's like this well-known dude, like well-renowned dude. And I think this is when Cap sort of where he gets from where he really wants to make Falcon the next Captain America. He wants him to be black.
Right.
He wanted him to take that mantle because he wanted the black Captain America to exist.
Grap, no doubt, man. Thank you for coming through. As always, you already know. I'm feeling that sweater, man. Yo, before you leave, show him that sweater. Dope. HBCU love. And all the schools is in the HBCU.
Yeah.
Yo, I gotta get that. We gotta get that.
Yeah, mine is. My wife got it for me.
Okay.
She got it.
Oh, he got all the names written in it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Florida. Oh yeah.
That is dope.
Definitely. But this
Dope.
the book, party people.
Truth.
everybody watching.
Captain America.
All right. Isaiah Bradley showed up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That was very dope.
And I just renamed our first episode that you were on, our first comics episode. That's when you talked about the book, September 21st.
Word up.
So y'all can go back. I put the link in the chat. When y'all done watching this, go check out our first episode.
The first time I showed them this book.
Yeah. That's
Dope.
Yeah.
Yo, when Reno said that, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, oh, I remember Grap showing us the book.
Yeah, because that
It's
them
hard
comics
to get now, this book.
Yeah. They raised the price on this Grap.
price skyrocketed, man.
Price went through the
Yeah,
roof
bro.
last week in just like 2 days.
Right after that
The
episode.
issues, like
Roof,
the issues,
yeah.
the individual issues, like number one, they selling that joint for like a couple $100.
That's a
Wow.
bean. That's a bean and
number
up.
one.
That's a
I
bean
got
and up.
this on some humble stuff too, like the little
Yeah,
comic
'cause
book shop
look,
in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Nobody been checking for that comic. Nobody's looking for that comic, so it was always
Word up. In the basement,
Available.
half off everything in the basement. This
Wow.
is
So you got it half off.
that's what I'm talking about. That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, 'cause
And you got that hardcover when you take it off and it's all black.
$99, it was like $12.99.
Wow.
Yeah,
You got a gem right there.
Reno was lit. When we came on last week, Reno looked like he was trying to do some real hard
I was sick.
arithmetic, man. He had that look on his face, man.
Figure
He
it out,
was,
man.
he was sick,
Alliance,
Yeah.
Alliance Comics is the name of the comic book shop.
Okay.
Okay,
It's on
but
Fenton Street in Silver Spring, Maryland.
shout out Alliance Comics, man. Shout out your
Yeah,
local
Alliance
comic
Comics,
shop. Word.
Word.
No doubt.
Keep the LCS alive.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So they got the basement where it'd be like graphic novels for half off, comic books.
Oh, wow.
In the basement be half off. It's loaded down there too.
But he went down there, I guarantee you went down there, got all them out there, and put
Yeah,
them
yo.
on the shelf.
Yeah.
They're now worth money. If you have that comic, you lucked out. And I'll say this
Oh,
too, like
boy.
anytime you take a racist person, a really, really racist, I'm talking about the most racist, I'm talking about Nazi motherfuckers, skinheads. You take them and you really put them in a relationship situation with a person of color, hands down, every time they renounce that bullshit. Every time. Every experiment that's been done. So that shit ain't real. That shit is fake.
This comes from hate. They don't even know why.
Hey, yeah.
It's self-hate.
You taught
Yeah.
that, man.
It's about them hating themselves.
I guarantee you it came from their parents. Or it came from, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or some
group
experience
said,
or
"This
lack
the way
of
to do it."
experience. Yeah. You know, they never chill with anybody that wasn't white. They don't know. And every time they sit down and make a conversation, like even who was that show? Who was that one dude that went into the Klan? He was a black guy, and he infiltrated
joining
the
meetings
Klan.
and stuff.
Joining meetings and and
He
it
became
was
friends with one of the dudes.
one of the dudes on camera. He was like, he renounced that whole shit. He was like, I never met or talked to a black guy before, and like wow, really?
Like,
Yeah.
oh shoot, he's normal like me. Like, no kidding, idiot. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yo, man, this was a dope show, man. I like when we cover a lot of different stuff. You know, salute to Grap for coming through.
Yeah, word up.
So start next week. We're gonna be back on YouTube. Hopefully we'll be on the Sixth Element of Hip Hop's channel. Get that popping live.
From now on, yeah, man, just catch us on YouTube.
Yup.
Sixth Element of Hip Hop.
Yup. Go follow there and hit the notification, so you'll get the notification when we'll be live. You'll see us three next week. Next week, same time, 6:30. YouTube, Sixth Element of Hip Hop.
Bat channel, same bat time.
Word up.
Well, different bat channel, I guess.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Hey.